war. Who's calling us home? And into the combat zone we roll. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory, glory in the Buffalo combat zone. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in Buffalo combat zone.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
It's finally game week on the Buffalo Combat Zone. We are your hosts, Alex, Randall, and Alex, or you can call him Miley. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? How we doing?
Looks like the Baker Mayfield MVP case might be disappearing in front of our own eyes. This is a worse half than.
Why do you want me to be wrong?
No, it's more so it boosts up Josh Allen, I guess. Boosts up his chances.
Yeah,
I want Allen to win MVP.
He was like 6 for 12 when I looked last for like 24 yards.
He now has an interception.
And now he's a pick, so that's not good.
Yeah. All MVPs have a bad game.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of a joke, but I don't know. I've just never been a big Baker Mayfield fan. I don't know.
Well, we're going to go.
I think if it wasn't Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield would have been able to handle the blue collar of Buffalo. In a different world. In a different world.
I mean, I mean, maybe, but
I didn't want it to. Never do I want it to happen. Just hypothetically.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to have any other quarterback be Buffalo, it'd be Matt Stafford.
Oh yeah,
I love that man.
He fits the archetype better.
Yeah,
he was slinging it.
Yeah.
So what we're going to go over today is we're going to go over some trade possibilities going into this bye week, maybe some strategies, and whether we think it's actually plausible for them to go out and do a trade right now. In addition to that, we'll go into the Panthers game, do a little preview. We did a little homework before we came in on some players that, we think maybe good targets for the Bills going into this. So I don't know if one of y'all want to start or not, but I mean, I've got a kind of a list here of guys that I think that we could potentially target coming into the next 3 weeks in different positions. Do you want to start up, Randall?
Sure. So I went more in the safety route because I do believe safety is the biggest need. And then obviously we get back Michael Hoyt and Larry O come into the Panthers. So I don't think that, even though some people are talking about Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle, I don't think that that's really the case. So worked up, I won't take Miley's because I know Miley's got one, but a couple just guys that could be available in the sell process. A couple people that I talked to for those teams. Justin Reed for the Saints is an easy sell. They're definitely looking to get rid of him. 28 years old, 6'1", 204, has 4.4 speed, 2 PBUs, only allowed 1 TD this year, only needs $2 million to fit under the cap. For us, we could send a fourth. That's more of a strong safety where they would have to split. It's kind of just upgrading. A lot of mine are more or less upgrading Taylor Rapp because I do think the safety positions are kind of evolving. I think we might need to get back into a free safety world, but a lot of the free safeties are taken and not for sale.
Yep.
Next one was Jeremy Chin for the Raiders, 27 years old, 6'3", 221, 4.45 speed, super great athlete all around. 4% missed tackle rate, something that we need to be looking for when it comes to tackling. 1 forced fumble on the year and 2 PBUs. Great as a run defender. He just signed a 2-year, $16 million contract that we could take on. I think that if Jeremy Chin is a high enough draft, if they're looking for a lot, I think that maybe, and you guys can tell me absolutely no, but maybe we should dip into our little offensive line depth that we can maybe get rid of and maybe do Ryan Vandemark in a 7th because they definitely need offensive line help. So to help with that. So that could be something where we get rid of our late day 3 and still have our draft picks. A dream of mine is Javon Holland. He just signed a 3-year, $45 million option Giants, but let's say they don't win the next couple games, and then they're back in turmoil because they just had that loss against the Broncos. But he's a versatile piece where he can play free safety. You can put him in cover, all defensive schemes, cover 2 and reverse. You can put him in cover 4, whole 9 yards. He's got 4.46 speed. They also might be looking for offensive line depth. So for Javon Holland, I thought Ryan Vandemark in a 5th, or if they want a wide receiver, Curtis Samuel in a 4th or 5th in that regards. And then we would have to restructure to get that. But I think he would just be a great piece right next to Cole Bishop. And then 2 guys that we were interested in before, and one is credit to Ryan Talbot and Jason Pinnock for the 49ers. He got brought in on a 1-year deal for the 49ers until they got healthy. So now, since the 49ers DBs are healthy, he's not playing right now, but he's also a true free safety that you can put back there. It is not a huge upgrade, but we're talking maybe swapping 7ths for him sort of thing and just getting a free safety to let Cole Bishop be strong safety. And then if we want to get crazy, Derwin James, if the Chargers end up fumbling in the next 3 weeks, and then they have to reconsider some options to beef up their offensive line because their offensive line is also a little dismantled, you could send Ryan Vandemark in a 4th. He's got a contract up to 2026. You can cut him next year, basically with, I think, 4 or 5 million dead cap, but he's got 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, only a 60% reception rate with 1 interception, a 51 passer rating when targeted, so he could be an option as well.
I think we should talk about the one all 3 of us thought was one of the better options.
That's who I was about to bring him up.
Yeah, we're all kind of thought the same thing about Xavier Woods.
Yeah, Xavier Woods from Tennessee, I feel like it's the most realistic option because Tennessee has a rookie that what they drafted this past year and the 3rd or 4th round. I mean, Kevin Winston. I don't know what did Kevin Winston fall to?
He's a mid-round pick. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He was a projected 1st-round pick that fell due to injury, and Tennessee got him. So I'm assuming with how bad they are, they're looking to want to play the rookie instead of the 30-year-old. So they're probably actively shopping him, and he's a free safety type. His big knock is he is not a good tackler. He has like a 22% missed tackle rate this year. But in his career, it sits at like 10 to 12. So I think I think he's going to have a little bit of positive regression in that remark and get back down. I mean, that's still not great. But right now, Rapp can't tackle or cover. At least Xavier Woods can cover. He may not tackle well, and then he moves Bishop into the strong safety role. That's kind of because I don't think right now we need a free safety, we need someone who can cover, and we need someone who can tackle. I don't think we're going to be able to get all 3 from one guy, so I'm looking for 2 out of 3. And when it comes to safety, I'm more worried about if they can cover because right now it's basically just been attack Rapp in the pass game. I would hope in the run game that our front 7 can tighten up a little bit more so we don't need to rely on our safeties to tackle as much. But Woods has only allowed like 110 yards in coverage this year and has a 76.1 PFF grade, which I know it's PFF, but it's like 12 out of like 41 safeties. So, I mean, at least that's good. I haven't watched him play or anything. I was just looking around on PFF, some of his numbers, some of his stats, and they look decent. And I think the big thing being a free safety would move Bishop at strong safety. And I think Bishop's look decent, even though he's playing out of position. I think you put him next to someone who can cover like that, allow him into the box more to really go and attack. And I think he could blossom into even becoming a better player. Not going to be like some Pro Bowl, all pro, especially not right away, but could at least show more of the flashes that he has been showing. And then I also still think they're looking at wide receiver. I think the most talked about guy linked to Buffalo would probably be Jacoby Myers. I would like him too. I think those are probably the two realistic positions that we target. I don't see us targeting corner with Max returning. I don't see us targeting D-line with Hoyt and Ogunjobi returning. I don't see us targeting linebacker with Bernard and how good Shaq's played and Milano still being there. Really, we have in-house upgrades at all the positions of need except for wide receiver and safety. So those are the two they're going to look out of house for. And so I think safety, wide receiver makes sense. It looks like Olave, they might be working on extension. He's been playing pretty well recently. Waddle, I just don't see them trading him to Buffalo, so I don't see that happening. And I have heard nothing about Shaheed, so I don't know. And I think that kind of leaves Meyer as that guy. And I would be pretty surprised if he doesn't get traded. He wants to be out. They suck. They don't want to pay him. He's a free agent after this year. And McDermott has talked in the past about how he likes Myers. So I think that would be a target for us. He can win on the outside. So we have another guy who can win on the outside next to Josh Palmer. And I think that's key because if Palmer doesn't play, you saw in the Falcons game how bad our receiving core looked without Palmer. You put Myers in there, at least we now have another guy who can win on the outside. So we're not just getting blitzed to death.
Yeah.
And I would really like that. I think you mentioned how the Raiders need offensive line help. I think they need more interior offensive line than tackle help. I mean, they already have their left tackle and Colton Miller. I mean, they could use the right tackle, but I'm thinking they want to beef up the interior offensive line so they can get Genty going more. So I would say an Alec Anderson and for Jacoby Myers and one of the 3 sevens we have, I think could get it done. And then for the Titans, I think it would be we give up like a 6th, or no, we don't have our 6th. We give up maybe Xavier Woods and 2 of our 7ths, something like that, or we give up 2 of our 7ths and maybe throw in someone else. I don't know, and get him. Maybe take Curtis Samuel. They just caught. They're about to cut Tyler Lockett. Maybe they'll just take that cap hit and we can give up Curtis Samuel and like 2 7ths and get Woods, and then that's a weapon for Cam Ward.
Yeah, the contract for Woods is really, really doable as well. That's another advantage to getting him on board. Guys like Justin Reed, I mean, I know we can restructure it or what we would actually take on would be a lot less than he's making. The same with Budda Baker. I think he's a possibility. I think the only 3 teams that are really worth looking at are the Saints, Titans, and potentially the Cardinals based on how the season's going and based on teams. I'm sorry, and the Raiders too, based on teams that aren't in our division, right? Because, I mean, I'd like to trade with the Jets for somebody and the Dolphins too, but I don't think that it'll ever do that for us. Another possibility at receiver, I think, is Calvin Ridley. Yeah. I think he's injured now, but I don't know how serious that is. He'd be perfect for what we need. He's averaging like 18 yards a catch this year, which is the best he's ever had with a rookie quarterback. And honestly, I mean, he's not that old of a player. I think he's 28. I think maybe 29.
My only issues with Ridley is the contract.
He's 31.
We'd have to.
He's that old? Okay, so he's older than one.
Almost 31.
Yeah. The drop problems too. It's the contract and the drop problems for me.
The drops are my concern, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's either, I think Myers and Ridley are really the only 2 viable options. I'd love to see Shaheed on the block, but it feels like they're re-signing Olave and they don't have any interest. It almost feels like they're ready for the next quarterback and they're trying to give him as much as possible still around him if they do sign Olave. I think that would signal doom as far as them being a trade partner in the receiver department at least. I'd love to have Reed, I think, or any of those other guys. And I think the main reason is to put Cole Bishop in a place where he can be successful at all the time. He doesn't have to switch back and forth so much, where he can just kind of be where he is. And that's where he's more natural. I think a lot of the missed tackles in the open field, down the field, or a lot of it's just angle situations where he just doesn't understand angles enough from that spot on the field. And then you see him whiff or coming at, just half tackling people is what I call it. I think a lot of that's just from being out of position. I don't think he's really comfortable at free safety at all. Even though I think he has the athleticism to do it, his brain's just not wired that way, I don't think,
100%. Getting back to the wide receiver, I do have a question for you guys, because if they're looking to extend Olave, Shaheed is pretty much in that same boat because he's a free agent. So are we really talking about them getting each a contract on the same year? Because in my opinion, Olave is going to cost a lot if they extend him. So maybe they're thinking get rid of Shaheed, get a draft pick, and start stocking up on rookie wide receivers while they go get a quarterback. I mean, Saints are in a 2 to 3 year build, especially because they wasted pick 40 on Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
So they can't really be looking into next year. I don't think that they would give 2 contracts to 2 wide receivers, especially Shaheed might want a lot as well. Maybe pick one, send the other.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Because Shaheed's going to be like a Khalil Shakir type contract, I think.
Yeah.
And then Olave is going to be a shade below some of the elite receivers. So I'm thinking like 27 mil AAV for him. And then probably something
low
like
guarantees.
Yeah, and like 13 to 15 for Shaheed. With low guarantees on Olave just in case of injury. So that's a possibility. I still think Myers is probably the most likely option. I do have concerns on why we didn't make a move last week. I was talking to Miley about this before you came in, Randall. But, I thought last week was the perfect week to make a trade and get him in that building, give him 2 weeks to get ready, and then roll with them versus throwing him in again like Cooper last year. We didn't even know the damn plays. Right. So, it concerns me about their urgency to do this. I think we said last week over-under is a half a trade. At this point, I might take the under. I mean, just being pessimistic about it, but I just don't know if they see a problem like we do. And I think that's kind of my concern. What about you? What you guys?
I think I'll be quick. I think one of the biggest flaws with Buffalo is that they're not proactive enough and they're too reactive.
Yeah.
So like this bye week, their mindset is more like, okay, well, let's get right. And then let's see what we have on the field. And then we'll go from there, when it should just be more like the Eagles should just be like, nah, let's just do it. And then we'll make it work. Right. And that's where I think they go.
Give them a second rounder for Olave and let's make this work.
This is exactly what I was telling Alex prior when we were talking about it.
Before you do that, real quick, the Olave thing could be a smokescreen by the Saints to drive up his cost. So maybe he is on the block, because it sounded like Olave, when they interviewed him before the game this week, that he was notified of a potential trade. And then right after that, I hear that they're going to sign him. And it's like, none of it made a lot of sense to me. Yeah. So it could be all smokescreen. Olave may still be on the table. Anyway, go ahead, Miley. Sorry.
Well, what you said, Randall, is exactly what I told Alex before we went on air. I'm like, they're probably wanting to see how the team looks out of the bye before they make any moves, which I agree with you guys that just is stupid, but that's just kind of how Buffalo is. Maybe it's Terry Bagula telling all these people, but it just seems like the Bills and the Sabres are too much like the answers here in the room. And then we're all looking around and we're like, where?
Right.
It never is. But that's the philosophy they feel. I don't know if that's a Terry Pagula thing or we just got unlucky that both of our GMs think that way. I couldn't tell you.
It's a Brandon Bean thing, to be honest, because I mean, it's rough to say, but WGR is right now correct. And I'm not, and this is not to take away which is not to take away from Josh Palmer, because we all as a 3 love Josh Palmer. But the issue is that we don't have somebody to take the CB1 on a constant basis to open up everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's where WGR is right. Is the right wide receiver room complete? And then Brandon B went off on him. But right now, they're correct. So it's kind of like
where we're wrong is the wide receivers we should have targeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted us to go and get Luther Burden. That wouldn't have helped at all. I remember them slamming the tape.
No.
Like, I do understand why Bean didn't go wide receiver in the draft, because we were sitting, there just wasn't a lot of good wide receivers falling. This wide receiver class is not looking to be that great. So I get why I didn't go wide receiver in this class, because like the big names are off the board. Like the only wide receivers that are really looking good as rookies were already taken. Golden's shown flashes, but Ibuka and Tat, it's like none of the guys that were there. So I get why he missed it in the draft, but the need to go on the show and say all that stuff I thought was a little too much, and hopefully he doesn't get too ego about it and thinks, oh, it's definitely good enough, I'm not going to make a trade. But he did. I mean, we made a trade last year for Amari Cooper, so I think the people that say he's not willing to put assets into the room, I just think it doesn't make any sense, because he put in plenty of assets into the room.
Agreed.
They haven't always worked out, but he put assets into it.
I think outside of Diggs, he's shot low.
Yeah.
But it really worked in 2009, like getting John Brown and Cole Beasley.
That worked as well.
Such a great grab.
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like he thinks he's going to keep
chasing that, right?
Catching that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all we really need right now, right?
Right.
Somebody can provide a deep threat who can get open with route running and cleanly, and then a slot receiver that can come cover quickly as well. Now, Shakir has some of those skills, but not really. Like, Shakir's game is really predicated on screen passes and getting to the intermediate level and catching tough catches. That's really what he does. I mean, he doesn't really uncover that. He does some slants and things like that, but he's not really coming on. He's not creating separation like talking about it. And I think the numbers, the advanced analytics kind of bear that out. Yeah. I did want to talk about, I did make a top 10 free agent list. You're going to disagree with some of them because corner, we kind of discussed that they probably won't go corner, but there's a couple corners on this list. I wouldn't
hate them going corner.
I'd love it.
Put Trey as a CB3.
Anything that get Trey White off the field, I agree with.
Right.
I mean, so based on, I double checked these, so I'm pretty sure they're all still available. Okay. Justin Simmons still available. Marcus Williams still available. I know Marcus has taken a step back in recent years. He wasn't good when he left.
He was awful last year.
He was not good, but is he better than Taylor Rapp? I mean,
I don't know. The way he played last year, I don't know if I can say that.
I don't know. He's still pretty relatively young. I think he was 28 or 29 years old. So it's like kind of shocking that he's fallen off this much. DJ Chark is still in there as a deep threat. Stephon Gilmore, James Bradbury. I know that Bradbury's coming off an injury, wasn't very good when he left, but I mean, he's been historically a pretty good player. Stephon Gilmore also historically a good player, even though he's 35 years old. Marcus May, who I thought was okay for Miami, former first-round pick. Von Bell, I think his days are over, but he's available. Robert Woods is available.
Bobby Trees.
Yeah, Bobby Trees. Levi Wallace is still available.
No.
I'm
such a hard no.
Just hear me out. He's better than. I think he's still better than Trey White. I'm sorry. I just think.
I don't know. I think it's an immediate lateral move.
Well, I'm at number 9 on my top 10 list.
I think he might be a bit better in coverage, but Trey at least has been good at reading things and good in the run game, where it kind of evens out. He might be a little bit better in coverage, but he's worse at the other stuff. So at least. Let's just keep Trey at this point.
Lastly, Mecole Hardman's still available out there in the market. I'm not saying these are good options. I'm just saying these are the options, right?
Okay, so out of those 3 wide receivers that you named, plus Lockett, because it's a very Brandon Bean thing to go dumpster diving for the wide receiver and maybe pick up a safety. Yeah. So between those 4, who would you take?
Tyler Lockett.
Right?
Probably. Yeah, I just don't see any other advantage.
Honestly, I would kind of like if they traded for Jacoby Myers. Let's say we give up Tyrell Shavers, then we find a way to get off Curtis Samuel's contract, and then we pick up Lockett and we cut Elijah Moore. That instantly makes that wide receiver, that the floor of that wide receiver raises a lot.
Yeah, I worry they'll do too. I agree with you. I don't.
But if they went from the back end of the receiver room being Shavers, Samuel Moore to then Myers and Lockett, that is a much better room. That is
for sure.
We're not going to be as reliant on our top guys. Where if we're missing a Josh Palmer, if we're missing a Kincaid, if we're missing a Shakir, our passing attack doesn't look like as bad as it was against the Falcons. Because we have other guys who historically you can rely on, kind of, even if Lockett not so much in his prime. And Lockett has shown he's a good deep threat.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind bringing in Myers. I think Myers is probably the most likely receiver we bring in. I don't think they're going to go dumpster diving in the free agency market for one, just because I think it's like they're going to do that or they're not going to do anything.
For sure.
That's just my guess. I predicted Cooper last year. I feel like that I have pretty good feel about that piece of it. As far as safety goes, I mean, Justin Simmons is still a player that I think is respected around the league, right? He
picked off Mahomes last year.
Yeah.
I mean, when he went into free agency 2 years ago, he was looked at as the best safety in the NFL.
Right.
By most people. And now we're going to say, so now because he played for the Falcons 1 year, all of a sudden, which is just not a good situation, right? Last year.
Sure.
Are we totally opposed to that? I think that's more of a likely option. If we're going to do something, it'd be an upgrade, like a significant upgrade versus maybe like an Xavier Woods. I'd take either one, honestly, because I think just an upgrade in general helps this defense. Like we're severely lacking in this category. And I think you're right, corners out.
I also believe it's more so due to coaching, if we're being honest, because look at the 49ers defense last night. They're much more injured and they're missing their best players and they absolutely shut down. And I think it's because Robert Saleh, while he's not a good head coach, is an elite defensive coordinator.
For sure.
but
Sean
they're
McDermott and Bobby Babich, I'm just starting to lose faith because it hasn't mattered who the players are. Our defense seems to struggle in big moments.
he has
It
no
has-
interest in taking Babbage out of play calling duties, it
It's-
seems,
Yeah.
which is kind of shocking to me.
This was a little bit like, I feel like they're just over. They're trying to figure out too much, and I feel like everybody's trying to help everybody do their 111 too much. Like you can see how many times that the Bills defense is not set immediately when the ball is hiked. Like they keep constantly. There's 3 levels of communication when really Terrell Bernard should be the one communicating if he's out there. But like Bishop is communicating a lot. Then Bernard is in the middle trying to communicate. And then you have defensive line trying to shift people over, and you can see that. Then the ball gets hiked and go. And it's multiple times that it happens a game.
Kind of reminds me of the Ken Dorsey offense.
Right. It's like too many things are going on, and it's making them take simple defenses like cover 3 and just not doing their assignment in a cover 3 defense. Like the one Drake London pass that came to the sideline that Trey White moved over to the center. Like that was a simple thing for Trey White to get, and he just moved over to the center. I feel like it's too much for everybody, and they just need to simplify it and just listen to one person.
I mean, they're missing things like just filling the right gaps.
Right.
I mean, that's just basic high school football shit. Like the
It
fact
is.
that we're missing these things, and
It's Bobby
we're also,
Babbage.
yeah, like these are coaching problems in the back end. I don't know if it gets fit. Well, I guess it can get fixed. I just don't know where the ceiling is with the players we have out there, with like Taylor Rapp and Bishop being so young. I think Bishop's going to be fine. I just think Rapp is just like I was pro Rapp last year. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
Actually, last
That's
2
why
years
I wasn't
fine
so
with him.
upset. That's why I wasn't that upset when we didn't draft a safety. Like I was the right guy was there. I'm like, all right, I get why taking one, but I'm like, we got to give Bishop a year. And Rapp I thought was almost a Pro Bowl level safety last year. I thought he was very, very good.
Yeah.
And then this year, it's like he's trying to play the same as last year, but lost a step. And
I mean,
the
Malachi
angles are so much worse.
Starks has not looked good this year.
Yeah.
But
And I'm
if
not
we
even
were-
saying Starks, but I was liking the day 2 guys, Kevin Winston, Xavier Watts.
Yeah, Watts.
Jonas
That's who I think
Sinker.
would be.
There was
that
a
would be
couple of guys
interesting.
in there that I'm like,
Yep.
I would not be upset. Ransom from Ohio State. There was a decent Nick
Jonas
Amendola.
Jonas Sanker.
Yep.
Uh,
There was just a decent amount. I'm like, I like these day 2 guys, but
Carl Kidzarowski. I don't know. This week should be Bobby's last chance at play call if you can't fix it. It should be already,
Andy Dalton is
here.
the quarterback. I
but,
agree.
but it's not going to be. And it would have
Babich is
happened
finishing the
already.
year out.
Now, here's the last piece on this portion I think that we need to talk about is there any chance that they put Hancock in? Or do you think Poyer is going to get his run and then Hancock kind of deal? I didn't think Poyer looked – I know he missed a tackle and didn't play awesome the last game, but I did feel like he stabilized. The defense felt more stable when he was on the field. Like he was just where he was supposed to be, and that made things feel a little bit better,
Yeah. I think more so our defense looking better was the Jake Matthews injury, but I think Poyer being out there, the veteran. presence definitely helped.
Yeah, I agree.
That's part of it. But I think that part of it was just him being in the right place during this. I don't know. I just felt like he was in the right spots, even though he wasn't amazing, and it made them feel more joined up, and maybe that's a testament to how important safety is for this football team.
Yeah, I mean, because I will give Babich credit. He's got good blitz schemes, but we got to get.
Here's the thing, too. I know the market.
I think it's just too much. It's almost like Brian. He's trying to run like a Brian Flores type system, but he's just not. Maybe just in practice they're not hammering because Brian Flores has a very complex system with a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
You see Minnesota, they rarely have these just lapses. They seem to get to their positions a lot, pretty often, and they're not a super talented defense that plays way better than they are. And I feel like we're trying to do that. So I don't know if it's during the week during practice they're struggling, or maybe the people they have out there communicating aren't doing good enough job, or they're just not reading things pre-snap well enough. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the running around like crazy kind of reminds me of when Ken Dorsey, our offense just had too much. It was too much reading, too many options. It's like, oh, based on this, they could do this, that, and the third. And then teams see that on film. Like I remember when Patrick Peterson had that pick against us with that Vikings game that went to overtime. He went on a podcast a couple days later and was like, yeah, I saw this play on film. I knew as soon as Gabe Davis broke exactly where the ball was going and he was able to jump it. And it kind of feels like quarterbacks know this exact same. It's like, all right, I've seen this coverage on film. If we run this exact route, the hot route or something, if we run this exact route, this will be wide open, and they're hitting it. So I feel like there's a part of that. So that's where it's like, I wish McDermott would come in and start calling the plays, because he's kind of like the Joe Brady fix. He's going to come in and simplify things and take it a lot slower and kind of be like a bend don't break offense almost, where it's like dink and dunk. Why don't we be the bend don't break defense? Maybe you have Babbage in the air calling up some of those blitz schemes, but you have a lot more of a conservative defense just to so our defense isn't blowing the games.
We kind of are, because I think this is the most that we're playing cover 3 that we have in the past like 5 years. And I don't know why we're playing a lot of cover 3, especially because
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you not know why?
Because we don't have 2 safeties that can cover.
Right, because we don't have 2 safeties that can cover.
We don't have corners that are able to stop people from getting behind them either.
Well, so first of all, yes, correct.
Okay.
But what my thought process was is that they're installing the defense because they had hopes in Max Hairston coming in and playing at corner, and he's best in cover 3 because he plays cover 3 well with his speed, can recover well, but they can also adjust and come down to the line on flat routes and stuff like that. So cover 3 is not working in a newer system that we're running a lot of cover 3, and maybe that's the kind of learning curve that we're going through in the first 6 weeks, but it really shouldn't be as hard as it is right now. But that's where I think with Max Harrison opening up his window, and as I've said before, Max Harrison changes the whole entire skill set of the DB room. And if we get somebody at the deadline, that DB room will look much better.
Yeah, I think he would get to some. His speed will allow him to because when Trey gets beat, he can't recover.
Right.
Like the double move that Diggs put him in when we lost to the Patriots, where he kind of did that loop-de-loop and cut to about to the sideline. I think Max gets there.
For sure.
Because Trey was just like a yard away at the end. Like, I think he gets there for an interception potentially. Trey's already getting beat so much. I guess it doesn't matter if because Max is going to get beat. He did that in college a lot. He got beat and then you recover, get interceptions, whatever. And then sometimes he just gets beat. But you roll the dice at this point because we're already getting that from Trey without the interceptions, Right. So now the tackling may be different, but I don't know. Like Trey, it's kind of an anomaly that Trey's tackling so well. There's another comment from Carl. I think the blitz schemes are more Ryan Nielsen than Babbage. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know enough about him.
I don't know if I so much agree, because there were a lot of the same schemes from last year too. Mm-hmm. I just don't think we had the personnel wasn't as good, because I just don't think our edge room, our D line wasn't nearly as deep or as good as it was last year. But they did a lot of moving around with the linebackers. And they would try with like the Wayne Smoot and Casey Toohill to do these things. They just sucked. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't really do much with them. And now you have a Joey Bosa on there who is much better than those guys. A Deion Walker that's making these big plays. That's a lot better than Jordan Phillips and players like that. I think that even though they're more productive than they were last year, I think it's a lot of the same. I just think that we have better personnel for it now. And that's why I'm so excited for Hoyt to be back, is because he's like perfect.
You and me both. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of linebacker too, like, the more I watch our group together, is it crazy for me to think that as Milano rolls out, Terrell Bernard should take his spot, and then we should get figure out a new way at middle linebacker? I just feel like he's in the mud too much. He's getting hurt because he's
right.
Kind of involved too much.
Get to the line of scrimmage and yeah.
He's.
I think maybe it just depends on how the draft falls. Is like if you take a linebacker, you just take best one no matter what, and if it happens,
you need one anyway.
If it happens to be one that moves Bernard over, then you move him over. But you don't take the worst linebacker to hope they fill one of the positions.
No,
you take whoever's better, and you move Bernard the other spot.
The problem is, I think Bernard does know the scheme pretty well. Like, I think there's a reason he's in that spot. I think it was a lot of his mental part of the game.
Yeah.
He does have an attack style, although it's probably not suited for his body type. And I think that, I think it's unlikely that happens. But the more I watch them play, the more I'm going, man, Bernard really could fill in for Milano, I think, relatively well, and it would be pretty successful.
He's a kind of similar style, just a little bit
smaller. They are. Yeah, I don't even know if he's smaller. Like, he's actually, I think he's like an inch taller, and I think they're both low 220s.
Really? They waited because if you look at them,
Oh, yeah.
Milano
Yeah,
looks a lot
Milano
beefier.
looks quick.
Milano's like 227 from what the last I saw.
Yeah, and I think he's probably
Like, he
heavier than
might-
that. They don't
yeah.
change those. They don't change the listings on their height and weight very often. You know what I mean?
Right.
Carl's in with another one. I'm Carl CAC 10. I logged out because the talk of on the app is
I'm
toxic.
assuming on Twitter.
Yeah. Do you guys think Josh is in the right headspace? Are people reading into that? I am more than a football player. No, I think we're looking into it way too much. I'd like to say something about that. I think that if she's actually saying that to him, you're more than a football player. In reverse, should he tell her she's more than an actress and let's come over to the football side? Because really what she's saying when she's you're more than a football player is she wants you to be an actor, because he is more than a football player already. He's a business owner. He does tons of charity outreach. Like, he does probably more than she does in his everyday life to diversify who he is. If that's really what she's doing in the negative sense, which I don't think she is, right? But if she was, then that's a problem. But I think really what it was is he just makes him feel like a better man. And I think that's that's the kind of person you need to marry.
Yeah, 100%. And I also don't blame you for logging out of Twitter. I want to do it every day. I turn on that app. The pessimist side of Bill's Twitter makes me want to whip my phone at the wall and punch something. It's so annoying because I see takes like that. That's like, oh, Josh Allen is lost a step and he just doesn't care anymore and he's going to retire in a couple of years. It's like,
no.
Are you like? It's just
First of all,
pessimists trying to grab at straws.
Yeah, 6 more years, right?
Yeah.
We also saw at that point.
And also, right after he got married, he wanted an MVP run.
Yeah, if he was 35 when he retires, or it's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe he retired at 35 years old. Like, that's a normal time to retire.
Yeah, right.
Like,
have a good life. Thank you.
Just give us a heads up so we can draft your replacement at that point.
Exactly.
Now,
I want, as soon as Josh loses a step, as soon as he's not an elite QB, I don't care if he's even got a couple years left, pull a Green Bay and draft his replacement. I'm not going to 20 years.
Yeah, he's not going to be effective enough at 35 years old to win us a Super Bowl anyway. At least not the way we're utilizing him currently, where they put in a lot on the plate.
Yeah.
Allen hasn't been perfect, but a lot of the imperfection comes from him pressing, because he feels like, I can't get this done. We got to make a play because it's just not working. It's not clicking. So what he's doing is he's forcing throws. Three of his last 4 interceptions are just, one of them's a tip, trying to make a play. Another one was two of them, the other ones are forced into coverage to Khalil Shakir in 2 different games, and they both got intercepted because Shakir wasn't open, and neither was anybody else, Yeah. And it's not all the receivers, but it's a lot of it is when you're
right.
You're trying to find people, when you're having to buy so much time to get people open, it's just not a great look. And Keon Coleman definitely looks the same as last year.
For sure. Yeah. The Ravens game was this year, and he led that comeback by 15 points. His adjustments at the line, his understanding the defense was all Josh Allen for making that comeback in week 1. So he didn't lose any of it, and it's just unreal.
I'm not overly concerned with his ability to read and layer throws and things like that. Like he showed it already. He's definitely, I mean, you can see it on film. Like, he's one of the best, I'd say top 3 in the league at calling checks at the line and getting into the right play. I think there are times where Brady's like, this is the play on 4th and 2. It's going to be a reverse. And then I think those are the times where he's like, well, this is the play he thinks is going to work. We're going to run it,
Yeah.
Otherwise he would just never run those plays. I don't think,
Never.
But he's great at calling out the blitz, finding the mic. I mean, there's a lot of different things he does really well at the line of scrimmage that you don't hear other guys do as often. Like other elite quarterbacks, like Lamar Jackson doesn't do it nearly as much as Allen does. Let's be real. Like, we watch the games. He's not doing those type of things. Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow are doing it a ton. Herbert's not. Tua's not. A lot of these guys are not. Drake May's not doing that yet. He will one day, but he's not doing it yet. And the only thing I am upset about Drake May is I'm jealous that his receivers seem to be schemed wide the hell open down the field and no one within 4 yards of him,
Yep. Agreed.
So, all right. So let's get into the Panthers a little bit.
All right.
Oh, wait, let's predict real quick. What do you think? What do you think we do like in the next 2 weeks as far as the roster goes?
I think we get a safety.
I think we get a wide receiver. I just seen us linked more to wide receiver than I have safety.
And I
I
worry.
want to get both. I would love if we did Alec Anderson and a 7th to get Myers, and then gave up a 5th and to get like a 5th and a 7th for Xavier Woods and a 6th. I would love if we made those 2 trades, I'd be very happy. I think they'd plug 2 holes and really fill this team out. But I think we do one or the other, and I'm going to lead wide receiver just because I've seen a lot more
I
buzz
also
towards us
think
getting
that
wide receiver.
and I think they have, unless McDermott speaks up, right? I think that Rap. I think that they're comfortable with Rap for some reason. I don't know. That's just that's why I lean receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I get it. I am just going to stick with hoping that the coaches hoping the coaches like
What's best?
if we don't make if Rap stays our starting safety for the rest of the year, we're not a championship team. Let's just be full on that. Falcons exploited them. They knew how to exploit them, and that's what happened. So if that comes down to it, we don't make a safety move, even if it's Hancock, that's fine. I don't think Jordan Poyer would be an answer, to be honest with you. I think it's a slightly upgrade, but I'm talking like razor thin upgrade.
Yeah.
If we go for Hancock, then that's fine. But it would literally be Brandon Beane, Bobby Babich, and Sean McDermott, the only people that don't recognize that Taylor Rapp is a serious problem out of the whole entire Western New York area.
I'll be honest.
So that's where like my head is. Like,
I'm a believer.
Know, right?
I've always been pro McDermott, but if they don't even attempt to make a move for safety to replace Rapp or on the roster, okay, I'm not just not just putting Poyer or Hancock in the game just to see what happens. Like just do it. Then I think it's egregious to the point of you wasted a year.
Yep.
I mean, he's just not good enough in the back end, and that would be not a fireable offense, but we're getting there.
I'm basically to the point of firing McDermott. I'm giving Bean a little bit more of a leash because I feel like he's built a better offense than he has defense, and that's the side that Bean has more control of. Sean McDermott definitely has an input on the defense. I don't think he has much of an input on the offense because he's not an offensive guy. And I think a lot of the philosophy for the way Bean drafts, that where our defense struggles, I think it's the guys McDermott wants. So I think our defensive shortcomings are a lot more due to McDermott than to what Bean's drafted. I'm not saying Bean doesn't deserve any blame because he is the GM. Yeah. He can just be like, no, I'm drafting him, figure it out. But I think there's a lot more hand in hand there, at least with like, we've seen Bean build a good wide receiver room. Not right now. We've seen him build a really good running back room, really good tight end room, great offensive line. He hit on a quarterback. Yeah. We haven't really seen him do that and all of these positions have performed in the playoffs too. We haven't seen him do that defensively, and I think that's the side McDermott has more influence on.
He took Leslie Frazier's play calling away for a lot less than what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Leslie Frazier wasn't good.
And Frazier was a former head coach. He knew what he was doing. I mean, I'm not saying he's great, but he's better than this. This is bad. And that's also the reason why what you just said is also the reason why I think we should have gone after some kind of asset at wide receiver that was more than just Josh Palmer, is because I said this last week, I think wide receiver is a much more predictable position than any defensive line or corner or receiver position or a safety position. In order, like, you're stacking the defense, and it's almost like throwing pieces at the wall and see which ones stick. And sometimes they do, Deion Walker. Sometimes they don't, TJ Sanders. And maybe Sanders turns out to something one day, but he's not impacting the team now because he's hurt, and he really wasn't before he got hurt, right? So we're looking at from a perspective of like, what can help us mitigate problems better? And that's getting more weapons on offense. So when the defense doesn't come through, we're able to move the ball up and down the field still when we we're missing really just one player. I mean, we're two at the end of the day last game, but really it's Kincaid is the biggest piece, you know?
Well, I mean, our offense looked pretty decent when Palmer was in the game. We went down and scored. Then the next drive we punted, but then we were moving the ball again. I mean, we hit Palmer for like that 20-yard. We were on their side of the field.
Yeah.
And then Palmer gets injured, and
the question was with the increased sample size of throwing to Palmer more often, do you think that the corners and safeties will kind of roll to his side more often, or will it open up things for other people? Because what I see is on the first drive, we benefited from a nice deep ball, right? And we scored on that drive, but that's not something that's going to happen every drive. The next drive we punt, the next drive where you're driving and he gets hurt, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, was it going to keep replicating, or was it something that we really benefited from a chunk play that isn't really something that we can bank on every single drive? You know what I mean? And now, and if we can, in some respects, is Palmer going to be good enough with no one else on the field to get the coverage to roll his way and open up other guys? And I don't know if that's the answer either, because I don't know if he's that kind of player, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he kind of should be. Like, his skill set screams that in some respects. That's why I always thought he's kind of an overachiever and an underachiever, if you think about it.
I think it's like his lack of speed and yak ability, I think, is kind of why
he's not slow, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if he was,
4'5"
if he had this skill set, but he was like 4'4", or he was great after the catch,
a little more elusive.
Yeah.
Chargers would have got rid of him.
Well, yeah, he'd be on the Chargers.
Yeah. But I still think his skill set's still pretty good. I think even though he hasn't put up great numbers, I thought he's definitely been worth the money he's been giving. With this, this comment, I decently agree. The Benjamin one, though, I don't think that was an awful pick, because his rookie year, he was really good. Then he tore his ACL and was slow. Like, I think if he doesn't tear his ACL, he could have been a pretty quality receiver, because he's a
certain type of receiver. It's weird. Bean likes these plodding big receivers who have catch radiuses. Yeah. And I've heard people say, like, that's what Allen needs because Allen isn't that accurate. Well, I don't think Allen his on target throw percentage is just fine. Yeah. First of all, secondly,
the deep ball, though.
Secondly, having a large catch radius is way less bankable than a guy who just separates and gets the hell open. And when he's open, if you throw it behind him a little bit or whatever, he can make the catch because he's damn open. Versus, let's make it more of a touch throw and have to be like, to get a guy with a large catch radius, realistically, to make those type of throws, they're way more difficult to make than throwing to a wide open guy on an in route. You know what I mean? Like, that can be a little off and you're okay. But if you're going on the outside throwing back shoulder fades, like, the catch radius only helps you so much as the quarterback making a perfect throw. Because that's really on a back shoulder fade or any kind of fade route. Like, the ball placement has to be elite no matter what the catch radius is, you know?
Right.
So, but I guess we'll find out more on Palmer too on the status Wednesday, if he's still week to week or if he's progressed to day to day. I thought the mechanism of his injury looked like a low ankle, but some people are saying high ankle based on the week to week status. We'll see coming this week. He may just said week to week because we were 2 weeks out from the next game.
That's kind of what I thought it was.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go into the Panthers. What are your thoughts on this game? I know Bryce Young's not playing. I don't know if the offense is really built around the quarterback anyway.
No.
And I think that arm strength is similar between him and Andy Dalton. I think he's more elusive than Andy for sure. Well, that's a benefit for us in our pass rush. And just not playing very much this year. So it's definitely a benefit not having him on the field. But I think really with the strength of this team is the run game. What are your thoughts?
100%. I think this is definitely a game where Babbage can hopefully redeem himself. I think those blitz schemes, that's like we got Michael Hoyt. Like, I want to see us I want to see a 4 or 5 sack game. I get the Panthers have a very good offensive line, but we've been getting a lot of pressure, and Andy Dalton, especially at this point in his career, is basically a statue in the pocket. I want to see us get some pressure. I want to see us be able to generate some sacks. Like, that's the one thing Babbich's calling card is. At least he's been able to generate pressure. We've been able to generate sacks, or not so much sacks, but we've been able to generate pressure. We've been able to get onto the quarterback well. It's just we haven't been able to bring him down. Hopefully this is a game. Bringing in Hoyt, bringing in Ogunjobi. I think we won't have to play Bosa as much. We'll keep him fresher. And I really expect us to be able to get some sacks because their offensive line is kind of more of a run game built offensive line. That they're not as good in pass coverage as they are against the run. So that is kind of where you can more so exploit them. And that's kind of what I'm looking for is I think they're going to be able to move the ball decently. We can't stop the run. They're good at running the ball. Andy Dalton can hit throws. But I think this is one where we should be able to tee off on some 3rd and longs. And I think we should also be able to move the ball up and down in this Panthers defense. While it's looked better, I don't put too much stock into being able to stop the Jets because it's the Jets. We've seen a lot of teams be able to put points on them. I'm hoping we can do the same, and we'll have Kincaid back I'm almost positive we'll have Kincaid back. I think the only reason he sat out against the Falcons is because it was right before a bye.
Yep.
And he was in pregame warmups about to play. Curtis Samuel,
Right.
as long as he doesn't pick up any injuries, is the same way. Palmer's the only one we might miss. So we'll be a lot healthier in the offensive side of the ball. Having 2 weeks to be able to game plan for this game, like if we can't move the ball and put up some good points against this Panthers defense, you have to trade for a receiver on Monday.
And then I think the run game that they have, I know it's been great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's still Rico Dowdle. I mean, this shouldn't be we've seen him before on Dallas. He's an okay player. They let him go for a reason.
Right.
I think they've been really good run blocking team. I think their scheme is really strong, but I think we've had 2 weeks to prep for this, to know what they bring to the table. And
Hopefully it's not a lot of wide zone.
Yeah,
It is.
and
It is.
It is.
Oh, then we're cooked.
They-
We're cooked.
Yeah.
We're cooked.
Both-
Rico Dowdle's
yeah.
running for 200 again.
Yeah, both
No.
both Hubbard and Dowdle need manufactured runs. Tell them
Mhm.
what to do because they're not creative, and
Yeah.
that's an issue with the blitz rate. So if we do blitz a lot, their offense is built on screen passes and intermediate throws.
Yeah.
So if we're bringing 6 on a screen pass, we're pretty screwed, and that happened to the Jets a lot.
Yeah.
At least their wide receiver 1 is the type that Benford can cover.
Yeah.
Like how,
It's perfect
how
for
Carl-
Benford.
How
Now look,
Carl said here. That's the Benford should be able to have his, and I'm not too worried about Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker, and I'm not sure who else.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
that's it, right?
And then he also,
and Leggett.
And
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Look, yeah.
Jatavion Sanders or Tommy Tremble. I'm not worried about their tight ends at all.
No, I
Like
think we
that.
could. I think if Babbage deploys us like Atlanta when we played them, they changed their schema. They said, "Oh, we're just going to go man and blitz you," like the whole last 3 quarters of the game. I felt like, and I mean, we need to do stuff like that. Like, hey, Benford's locking down London every time we go into a zone. He eats us up. Just go
That's
man to man. You know, like what are you doing?
Or at least a match.
That's
Don't
what
put
the
Trey
Panthers
White
are
in
gonna
man.
do.
Yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
could-
Like,
I might
don't put
be able to
train
cook-
man. Just put
I
them
might
in
be able
man.
to cook Trey White in man coverage.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would say, just let him play match and let him guard Tet, and then play the game like you normally would, and just key in on the run. I think we'll be fine. Like I think
And
it's
then-
as simple as that.
The
If
Falcons'
Tom-
defense is going to do they're going to do exactly what Atlanta did.
Yes.
So we need to figure that out because they have a high blitz rate as well.
Yep.
They're going to blitz and play man,
We need
and
answers.
and offensive line has 2 weeks to figure that out. And Josh Allen has to understand where, if he has a free blitzer, where he is.
Yeah.
But really, I think it's just about efficiency when it comes down to it. We need James Cook over 100. They
Yeah,
have good
like-
they have good run defense, but they stuffed James Conner, the dumpster fire, the Dolphins and the Jets, in the Cowboys room. Etienne
They
almost
were
had
getting ran over in the beginning of the year. Travis Etienne had like
Etienne had
120 yards.
143. Bijan
Yeah.
had over 100 rushing. So the good running backs get theirs, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Their the linebackers that stick in the middle of the field are pretty awful. So
I
Kincaid
think
and if Palmer,
Here.
they're there, and
That's
Curtis
why
Samuel,
I'm not,
that's
like-
going to open up a bunch too.
if Palmer is out, I think it hurts, but I don't think our offense is cooked because one, I think we'll be able to run the ball because we've been able to basically run it on everyone. Even against the Patriots, we're able to run it some.
Yeah.
And then I think, their linebackers suck. So I think Kincaid should be able to have his day. And we're going to have Samuel back. So at least that's a
And that's
separator.
where we're the
that-
best. That's where our strength is.
Like,
in the middle of the field.
missing Palmer will hurt some. It'll hurt our outside passing attack.
Spacing.
But
more than anything else.
But like having Kincaid and Samuel back, we'll be able to attack the middle of the field, and Brady will be able to call up some plays for Samuel because while Samuel is always injured, when he is healthy and on the field, that is when Brady's kind of his most creative, is creating plays for Samuel. He's very good at the things that like they match up the way Samuel as a wide receiver is the way Joe Brady likes to run an offense matches up well. That's why I like the signing to begin with. I just hate that he's always injured.
Can anybody else other than Curtis run a whip route? I feel like Curtis is the whip route guy, and then nobody else can separate off it.
I think Elijah Moore can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
they don't
not
do it with
really
him.
playing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But anytime
know.
you see Curtis on the field, he runs the whip
Shakir
route.
probably
works.
can. Shakir
That's what I'm
probably
thinking,
can roll
right?
it. I think
Why
I remember
can't he?
watching it. This is a long time ago, but when I remember watching it, the Senior Bowl, and they were running routes with Shakir and him doing whip routes, and me going, "That guy's he can move." You know,
Right.
so And honestly, the Curtis Samuel whip route that he ran that was effective in that game, it felt slow and clunky. He got wide the hell open. But when he did it, I was like, he's not open at all. And then he accelerated and got to the sideline. I was like, okay, well, it worked.
It worked, though, right?
Sometimes
It didn't feel
how,
clean to me.
Sometimes that's how receivers are. They're like they get open because of how like clunky and awkward it is. The defender almost doesn't know how to guard it.
Yeah, it's almost like you feel like you've got him stopped, and then he cut out, and it was over at that point. So
yeah,
but yeah, we'll see. I kind of agree. I think this, I'm not. God, I feel like we get predictions every week and just kind of whatever. I think that at the end of the day, I think we'll win. I think we get back on the horse a little bit here and make a statement win to an extent. My fear in this game is to win, dominate on defense in some respects, and then feel like we're good now.
Yeah.
Because this is not the game. Like the Chiefs the next week, if we did against them, great. We figured something out. But against this team, it can't be. This can't be the let's see how we do against Carolina, and then we'll make a move. I feel like that's the danger we're in right now.
Yeah, no stepping stone. This is not a stepping stone.
This is just win and get the hell out.
Yeah, I think my prediction, if we're doing that, I think I do like a 34-20 where we're taking starters out halfway through the fourth and they get a garbage touchdown. They're able to run the ball to start the game. Maybe they come right out and get a score a touchdown, and then we'll score, and then we'll get a field goal stop as they're just running it down our throats to start. Then we'll just go down and score, and we'll kind of have paddle to the metal first half with something to prove after the way the offense has looked.
Yeah, and
then like the defense will kind of lock up because we'll get them out of running the ball more, and they're not going to be able to move the ball much until the end of the game when we have backups in.
I do have faith in Brady in one respect. I think we talked about this last week, but I think that he's really good at making adjustments. I don't know if he's always doing the best play-to-play adjusting, but he's really good when he has time to think about it at halftime, or even if it's like a 10-minute block at halftime. He's like, okay, what do we need to do to change it up? And I feel like he comes out strong when he does that. So I'm looking for a first drive touchdown for sure. Also, I think he'll be pretty consistent in this game all throughout. I think this is a team that we should have overmatched. I did say that last week against Atlanta though. So I could be wrong.
Panthers allow a touchdown on 60% of the opponents when they're in the red zone. So that's high. Get it done.
We have a good red zone offense.
Stat pad this game up.
4 for 5, 5 for 5 on it. Patriots went 4 for 4. That was their last big game sort of thing. So just try and go efficient there. Get 80% or 100%, 4 for 5, 5 for 5 there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. You guys got anything else for us tonight?
Go Sabres.
What's their record now? I don't even follow it
they're 2-3. They're right now tied 1-1 in Montreal, and looks like Zach Benson's breakout year is officially upon us. Okay. He just notched his 6th assist in 3 games.
Nice. Stone had a 2-goal against the Panthers. That was great. Yeah. So that we got him in the offseason.
Finally beat a goaltender, which is nice.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, guys. Well, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.